bring out the queen herself,
Jasmine Sullivan.
Come on, babe. Come on, babe.
You look good,
Chocolate
girl.
drip down.
Yes,
okay?
honey, chocolate. Come and sit down.
Have a seat. Let's
Hey
get
y'all,
into
hey
this.
y'all.
Hey, love. How are you feeling?
We family, because we about to talk about our hotel. So listen, there's no judgment here.
This is a
okay?
no judgment zone.
No judgment zone.
Okay, I don't want you sitting here perched. I already see you ready to judge.
This is a no
Let it
judgment
go.
zone.
Let it go.
We're all
At me, but
family
don't at
here.
me. You know?
Right, we all have hotels.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay. So we're gonna get into it because we want to take up all the time we have with you.
Yes.
And I recently just saw you just Saturday at Insecure Fest.
Yes.
And can I just say,
Singing down.
just singing down.
Singing down.
It was just, I literally was recording video and I caught the spirit like in the middle, like I dropped my phone. And I just got this new iPhone. It was hard. So I was like, wow, I'm so excited to talk to you because I love that Issa chose you to close out. Like this was the last Insecure block party. This was the
Yes.
end of the premiere weekend, the
Yes.
end of a huge cultural moment for a lot of us. I mean, to kick off the premiere. How did it feel to be tapped for that? And how does it feel to be part of just that family overall?
It was amazing. I mean, it's no secret that I love Issa. I feel like she's one of those women that just speak for us as Black women and gets it. And so anytime I can just vibe with her and do anything with her creatively, I'm always down. So I really enjoyed myself. LA was, when I say y'all was turned,
We was turned, cause listen, it was open bar.
baby, that's all I saw was open bar. When I looked
Issa
out,
know how to throw
I
a
said,
party.
the bar's open. But it was great.
That's amazing. You are also responsible for the Insecure track.
Yes.
And that was my jam for
Thank you.
Hello. Talk to us about working on that.
So I've had binge watched Insecure. One of my many breaks that I did.
We're not gonna tell we
Breaks
were
are
gonna leave
fine.
it
You
alone.
want to bring that
though.
up? Okay, let's forget that.
Hello. Ain't nothing wrong with a break.
So I was just I was at home and I came across Insecure and I just started binge watching it and I fell in love with it. Like I couldn't stop watching it. And it just inspired me to write the song. And we sent it to Issa and she loved it. And we got
Bryson Tiller?
Bryson Tiller, yes, to be on it. That's another person who I didn't think would want to collab or.
Jasmine, I need you to cut the tape. Cut the camera.
Dead
down.
ass. Dead ass. Cut the tape.
I heard you say that about her earlier, and then we
Listen.
also were like, do you know I'm not scared of lion, tigers, and bears, but I'm scared of loving you, Jasmine Sullivan?
Hello?
I need you bad as a heartbeat, Jasmine Sullivan.
10 seconds, Sullivan. Hello?
Bust the windows out your car.
Sullivan.
I need you to stop saying that because they are
Brand new
blessed
mascara,
because
Sullivan.
it's the power of your vocals and your
hello,
legacy.
Jesus.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But you know, when you go away and you take breaks and you come back, and it's like a new whole set of artists out there. You just don't know if people appreciate your music or appreciate you as an artist. And I never want to just assume that people know me just because I've been doing this for a minute. So it's humbling, that the newer artists, have listened to me and looked up to me. I
I'm about to say,
appreciate
a lot
that.
of them listen to you. A lot of them are inspired by you.
I
A lot of
appreciate
songs that have been coming out have been from Jasmine Sullivan's voice and pen.
Oh, thank
So
you.
yeah, this is definitely like, what girl, stop. Cut that out today.
So let's get into the album. Let's
Yes.
get into the album.
Oh,
because-
okay. All right.
Yeah, well, we did selfishly want to ask because the new episode did drop Sunday. And I don't know if you had a chance to watch it
Not
because
that-
you've been busy.
I've been busy, so I
So we didn't know if you were Lawrence
high
Hive or not, but we felt like our listeners were going to want to know. Are
If-
you Lawrence
Lawrence
Hive?
Hive.
Or are you
Lawrence.
anti-Issa being a baby stepmama to Condola's baby?
Am I anti-Issa?
Being Lawrence's, I guess being with Lawrence.
Yeah.
I do. I
Despite
like,
the baby.
Okay, listen. I like Lawrence. I do. I've always liked him, but I think he's taken a step too far.
Far. Just a...
So I think she can go on about her merry, wonderful, beautiful life and keep it moving.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I get the show. I get what I'm supposed to say, but
Yeah.
like, just
No, that's a fair take.
I-
It's a popular one.
listen. As Black women, sometimes I feel like we got to know when to let it go. And just keep it moving. You
Amen
know what
to
I'm saying?
that.
Sometimes we got the.
that is the first.
Don't go
bar.
back. Keep it pushing,
Keep it pushing,
y'all.
please. Let's get into hotels.
Yeah,
though.
let's do it,
talk
let's do it.
about
Let's
it.
talk about
Okay,
it.
let's start with the intro track. Bodies.
I keep
Okay.
on falling
God,
One of the
stop
best-
getting
Bodies
fucked
on
up.
bodies.
One of the best like internal dialogues like ever, because it a lot of us in here can talk about that. Please get it together, bitch.
Yeah,
Please,
I've been
Get
at a
it
many.
together, bitch.
I've been
You
at a
don't know who you went home with.
Don't sing it actually, Scotty, please. But I've been at many a brunch where people be like, I just keep on
Bodies on bodies.
It's a very,
Child.
I was like, people were like, how did Jasmine know?
Jasmine knows because Jasmine's been through it,
knows.
okay?
Speak on it.
Jasmine has been through it. Listen.
Yeah, so that sets the tone really for like, the tales. And this one doesn't really come with a person before it. So we
Yeah.
wanted to ask, like, what made you start off with this track?
Yeah.
Did you, was it personal?
Listen,
Had you been there?
I had a couple years. Well, I was wilding. Listen.
Every woman deserves.
I was wilding
Every
out.
person.
And I was just doing my thing. I had came off of a relationship that was absolutely horrible, and I was healing. And I was healing on some dicks. Oh my God! Sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to take it
and
there.
the truth is,
Oh, my man is here. Sorry, babe.
Sometimes you
Oh.
just slipped and fell on it after
Hello.
yoga.
Hello.
Meditating, just
Hello.
meditating on the dick. Okay, I get it.
to get over, you gotta get under. Okay.
To get over, you
To get over, you
under
gotta get under,
sometimes.
sweetheart.
Listen, but what I wanted to do was just let everybody know and set the tone as far as just not being ashamed of the things that you've gone through and giving yourself some grace. So the song is an inner dialogue about like trying to get yourself together, but I wanted to start it off that way to let everybody know like we all go through this. We all go through it and we all are trying to figure this thing out called life. And it's all right, sometimes it's not your best moment, sometimes it is, but like give yourself some grace and go through it.
Right. When listening to Bodies and Antoinette's Tale, I'm reminded of like right now, a lot of people are exploring sexual liberation and getting past this body count craze.
Yeah.
Because, child, like there was a time where we were giving numbers to these men who were asking you what your body count was, which now makes me want to throw up.
So
But the
whack,
fact
right?
that and so like the girls, including myself, was robbing myself of a good time because I didn't want to come off of this hand. I could not
Can't get past that
get
one home.
past 5 men. You know what I'm saying? So I did want to ask, like, what did it look like when you decided that you wanted to claim ownership over your body?
So that's exactly what I was going through while working on this. I was coming off of feeling the shame of the things that I had done, and I was speaking to myself about just not feeling that way. Like, don't be ashamed of the things that you've done and you've experienced. In this society, a woman is supposed to look a certain way, sound a certain way, act a certain way. Yeah. And I just really wanted to get free, and I wanted to give freedom to my sisters. Like, y'all, we got to get free
Oh, my God.
from
Yes.
what everybody says we are supposed to be and do and all of that. And so I was working through it myself.
Get free. I love that. And then we have tracks like Price Tags and other
Yes,
side,
baby,
child.
price tag.
With a,
Shout out to Mr. Pac.
Yes, Anderson.
which talks about, getting some money from these niggas. Just
In layman's terms, yes.
taxing these niggas.
Yes.
For your time.
Yes, for
And
your
that's and that-
time.
for your
That's-
time. Time costs money.
Yes, it does. And that's a
Okay.
woman owning, who she is and like saying, this shit costs.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
If we're gonna be together, this shit costs. But also on a deeper level, what I wanted to do with that specifically is shed a light on that type of woman. I feel like we judge women who
Immediately.
they think about their bank accounts and they think about their future and stuff like that, and we call them gold diggers. But let's talk a little more about like why they are the way they are, what the motivation behind things, and that's what I wanted to do with all the women on there is just show the motivation behind the
Right.
decisions that we make. And so with Precious, she grew up not having anything, and her motivation was like, I'm never going to be in that situation again. So you can feel her on a different level rather than just saying, okay, she's just a gold digger. No, she does that because she's had nothing and she doesn't want to be that way anymore. So just looking at it from a different angle.
Yeah, and I love a lot of the tracks like that because they humanize a lot of stereotypes. And I think
Definitely.
that's like what you were doing in a lot of these tracks, and it's one of the reasons I love it so much, the narratives around it. But it also made us think about even just as successful women like yourself, how does like the balance that comes from money and dating, like especially when you're a woman who's likely making more than a lot of the men, unless you're shrinking your dating pool. And like how to balance like who pays for what or what like do you feel like there's a happy medium that you try to go for when it comes to, you know, the Twitter $200 day arguments?
My God.
What's the Twitter 200?
You missed that day?
Yeah.
Wait, child.
Oh, good for you.
What?
They were talking about some,
A
you know,
date is
if it
supposed-
doesn't cost at least $200 on the first date,
It's not a date.
that is not
And
that
it-
you
there's
you
no
should go out
effort.
on a second one, and he better
Right.
pay,
Oh,
and you better
okay.
not even reach for your card.
Y- y'all just finding this out?
Y'all wasn't there?
Okay.
I think
Y'all
the
wasn't
year was
there?
2000 and no.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's whatever works for you, whatever it is that you want out of a partner. If that's something that you want and that motivates you is to have a man that pay for everything and make sure that you're taken care of in that way, then you know you do it. If it's not, you don't. It's personal. It's a personal thing.
Very personal. Money is personal. It's a very personal experience. But hearing Amanda's tale, right, it's so close and vulnerable. I did want to talk about how you got to get these stories.
Yeah.
What is that like? Jesus.
So
process?
Amanda and Antoinette specifically are two of my best friends. So we
Okay.
grew up together. We were in high school together. We bust windows out together.
That's right.
Those
We
friends.
They
have
real
cried
friends.
together.
Real
We've gone to church together. We've done everything. We've watched the children be born and everything. So it was a big ask, definitely, to go to them and say, you know, can you bare your soul for everybody to hear and possibly everybody to judge? But I'm so big on sisterhood, and they are truly my tribe, and they love me and they trusted me enough to take their stories and put it on a project. And it meant so much to me because to me the tales are just as important as the songs, if not more, because they just give you a more depth to the project. And so yeah, they I'm sure they were nervous to
Right.
put it on there, but they trusted me as their sisters.
Right,
you know.
because with asking your friends to share moments they might not have forgiven themselves for, you know, it's a deep place. I know you had to do the personal work for yourself too.
I mean, yeah, I feel like Amanda was clearly working it out
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that particular tale.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure after she heard it, she listened to it, and I feel like as her best friend that she's in a different place and she's in a better place, and I feel like that's what the tales helped do, was to create community for us and let us see that there's people out there who feel the same way as you. And when you have that, it makes you grow. And I believe that it did for them and for everybody who
Did the
heard them.
process help you forgive yourself?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was working through my own stuff while I was
Right.
doing the project. But when I put it out there and to see the women come together and just be like, girl, I'm so glad you said that because this is my story.
Amen.
That is so powerful, man. Like to have that community amongst us Black women and to be able to change the narrative, because I feel like, you know, society and Hollywood paints us out to be a certain type of way where we just going at each other and we catty and we two Black women can't be great at the same time. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? That's not true.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Make us very two-dimensional, one-dimensional.
Man, that is
no
not
depth.
true. That is not true at all. That is not true at all. And we're better together.
Absolutely.
And that's what I seen in this process. So that was the most fulfilling part of it.
And I had to ask a quick sidebar because I love the community, especially the one where it sounds like there's a room full of women in the one where
That's
because
your mom's
we've been
house.
trying to figure
That's
out who's
my
the
That's your
mom's
mom's
house.
house, yeah.
It's your mom's house. Who was
yeah.
the
The
she's right about it? I just
baby
wanna
was
know.
turned. Let me just tell
I
you.
gotta
love.
know who was the screaming she right about it because the way
right-
I've been
Donna.
hearing that in the
She-
streets.
Listen, she right about it. Was my godmom. She passed
Oh.
about a year ago. So rest in peace.
I'm so
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Godmama
Sorry.
Nietzsche, girl, you a star,
A
girl.
star,
Star.
'cause let me
What
tell you,
an
she
energy.
was right about it.
Absolutely.
Yes, and she's been my mom's like closest friend since they were younger. So it
Oh,
was.
I love
it was,
that. I love
it
that you
was a
brought the
beautiful-
multi-generational.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Into the
We
room.
definitely had to get I call it the old hose. Excuse me.
No,
The old tales, baby, because they got some knowledge to shed on us, and also to break that barrier where you feel like we're so separate and we
Right.
don't understand each other. They totally
How
get it,
dare
'cause
you judge?
they've been
right.
through
you
it.
tricking
Right.
too.
We're not the first women to go through these things that we're all
Absolutely.
going through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I love that. Let's talk about the pen game, please. Your project is next level, but let's not get this confused. Your pen has always been phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
Always have been phenomenal.
Long time. From the
Yes.
beginning.
You've been giving us bangers for years now.
Thank you.
Okay, reality show, Fearless, Love Me Back.
Thank you.
Love Me Back is the jam. Fight me, okay? I do not play about Love Me Back. Okay.
Thank you.
How do you feel about the progression of your creativity and storytelling?
It's natural. It's like I said, whatever it is that I'm kind of feeling, I'm going through. It wasn't actually that easy with this project. It was a little difficult, and I had to kind of work through it and work through my insecurities of not feeling like I was good enough, not feeling like I had anything to say that was poignant or that people would feel, and I had to work through that myself. But writing for me is therapy, and I have to do it because otherwise I don't think I speak if I'm not actually writing it down and making a song. That's something I realized in therapy.
Yeah.
Shout out to therapy,
Shout
baby.
out to therapy.
That is my way of kind of communicating and getting things out is through my writing. And I owe that as well to my mom, who was a playwright, and my grandma, who was a poet in church. And I always had women around me who were like penning, and they were like being creative in that way. And they allowed me the space to do that for myself. Like when I was writing when I was a kid, my mom just, as much as the song sucked, yeah, as a 13-year-old we're white, she just encouraged me to keep going. So I appreciate that, she allowed me to go through that.
Because you are an example of what Black women's love affair of literature looks like. You are behind poets and, playwrights. So I think that's an incredible thing to point out. What's something that spoke the most, like, loudly for you when you are reading your grandmother's poetry?
My grandma, what's funny? She's really funny. And I think I incorporate that with my music. And when I'm telling stories, I do have a funny outlook on it, the way I craft it. And I honestly think that's from my grandma and just listen to her write her poems. And I always find myself laughing or giggling while I'm listening to it. It's hitting home, but it's a funny outlook to it.
And you talked about how, like, writing, you were working through a lot in this album and writing through it. Was there anything else you do to, like, work through things? 'Cause I think a lot of our listeners often are going through stuff like this and trying to work through, but they don't know what that looks like in a tangible way.
Oh, yeah. I cry. I go in a corner and I just cry. I go to my mom and I talk to my mom, and she says, Jasmine, you are a gift from God. And no matter what you're going through or how you feel right now, you have a purpose. So I have that with my mother, as far as just pushing me to be my best, going to my girlfriends and telling them how I'm feeling and them doing the same thing. It's just about community, and going to the people that love you and know you the most and having them just fill you up. Sometimes you can't do it on your own, to be honest. You need somebody to help you get through it, and you gotta go to your people, and they be like, girl, get on your shit. Get on your shit. And so we need each other,
That's what I call Scotty for. She's the get on your shit friend.
Please.
Everybody needs a good get on your shit friend.
I don't play
Get
around
on your
with the
shit.
play around. Get the fuck up. Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
You forgot who you are. I'm here to remind you.
Don't piss me off.
Don't piss me off. That's my number one line. Don't piss me off.
But
Don't
no,
piss
that's
me
real.
off.
There's nothing like a mother's pep talk. There's nothing like a village of friends. We talk about how it takes a village to raise a child, but I'm like, it takes a village to raise me as a grown woman too. Still,
Yeah.
Baby,
Still,
it takes a
it don't
village.
stop.
Yes, seriously.
Right. What stories are you looking forward to telling next?
Well, we did Tragic, which is
Yeah.
the last song that was out, which was about tragic penis and
The numbers were mathing on that one. It was mathing a bit.
It
I
makes
wanna say,
sense
it was
with that
mathing a
one.
bit
Hold
better
up, this
there.
isn't right. This isn't working. What
can
is
we-
this?
can we-
Tragic.
Can we talk about that?
And
Please.
you know how women's needs are not met, and we aren't considered. Like the people, they don't even care. They don't.
but see, but
It's the finger
but-
on the knee.
Jasmine, it's us because
It-
we not telling niggas
It
the
is
truth.
us.
And I need y'all to start telling these niggas
That's
the truth.
That is.
No,
listen.
it wasn't bomb. No, this pussy not yours.
Listen.
No, it wasn't like that.
Listen.
Because if you don't, then who's gonna have to?
Do community.
Please
This is
serve the
this
That's
is
one of
community
the
service.
lines.
I
That's
don't wanna
one of
be
the
villain.
lines.
I'm
Right.
tired of being the daggone
That's one of the
villain.
lines. Like, who
Right.
told you this was good? Who lied?
Exactly.
Who lied?
Right, and you can see the genuine shock. It's like the lies, the
The
lies.
lies.
It's crazy.
Exactly.
So it starts with us.
It does start
women.
with us and about
Okay.
honesty, and self-love. Listen, love yourself enough to tell that man, this is not it.
Hey.
This does not work for
And
me.
then, like, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? You're gonna lose the guy with the tragic dick.
Dude, I mean, right.
It's a win-win. Win-win.
Like,
My
please.
bad.
What are we getting out of line?
right. So
So we're definitely doing, thinking about more, risque songs like that, and,
Okay.
and trying to get to some heart as well. I'm still working it out in my head, so don't.
We
still
just basically
figuring it
what
out.
we saying is like, don't leave us again for too long. Like,
No,
you
no,
know.
no. It definitely wouldn't be that. Let me tell you. I hate bringing this up so much, but since my mom was diagnosed with cancer a couple years ago, time is totally different for me now. So, when you go through that, you realize you just don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. You don't know if you're gonna be here. You don't know if the people that you love the most are going to be here. So you kind of have to seize the day. Every day that you get is a blessing. Being here with you guys is a blessing. Being with Issa and everybody at the festival was a blessing. Like everything, you just appreciate it so much more. So I'm working through it. It's hard, like I said, sometimes I don't feel my best and I don't feel like I'm great, but you just got to push through that. And that's basically what I'm doing every day. So
I think the pandemic made a lot of us work through that too in a lot
Yeah.
of ways, and all of the loss and the death and the sickness
Yeah.
and just being alone with nothing but your thoughts.
yeah.
Right.
It really.
So
made-
when was the last time you celebrated yourself?
Yeah. Mm.
The last time I celebrated myself,
Girl, think it through.
Because we can start now.
Because we can celebrate now.
I
Bring up. No.
I don't know. I can't really say the last time I celebrated myself. I've kind of just been on the run and just working now at this point. But I don't know. I feel like I'm celebrating myself by like going to therapy, like
Okay.
That's an
by
answer. That is a
We'll
valid
take it.
answer. I mean, I hope that, I think one thing that definitely needs celebrating for sure is these 12 Grammy nominations. 12
Speak on it.
12 double digits.
And she
We
gonna
don't need
get
to have a
every last
celebration. We need it.
Every last one, Grammy people in here. Don't play with me.
Don't play with. But how does it feel if you're in here recording Academy?
Okay, don't play with
Don't
me.
play with us. Remember these faces.
Put them all down for me.
But how does it feel to have that recognition from the industry and to like be getting your flowers in this way? Because it's so overdue, but I'm so glad it's happening. I love this moment for you.
I mean, it feels amazing. Let me tell you, it feels amazing. I've been doing this for a minute, and to see the work that I put in, and especially with this project, since it wasn't the easiest to actually put it together, to see people show me love and give me love feels amazing. I'm always working on validating myself though, and feeling great and feeling like I'm worthy without any notoriety or any awards or anything. So that's the most important thing for me, is that I feel it for myself, and then everything else is second.
Yeah, because that's exactly what our next point about too. Because like awards, it's nice to be recognized, but also we definitely want to put out the message that like regardless of what happens, like this is a moment.
Really, you have to,
Overall.
for yourself, you just gotta know who you are and,
Yeah.
and know you the bomb and
And know that album was the bomb, and know them vocals is anointed, and know that Jesus literally put his thumb right here. every time you open your voice.
It is insane.
the best part of it, like honestly, was the fact that us as Black women, we were coming together and we telling our stories, and we feel like we're seen, and
Yeah.
you know, these stories that nobody tends to talk about or nobody cares about. We care about. We're celebrating ourselves, laughing at ourselves, healing ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's the most amazing part of this whole project.
Yeah, the forums were beautiful. The Twitter conversations, the clubhouse rooms, like
It's
everything.
been
It was
amazing.
so wild to see. But we were all like, "Well, while Jasmine's on the subject, let's talk about
It's
it
been
because we
amazing.
haven't been getting past these stereotypes." But I love the overall theme of just getting past these stereotypes and giving us dimension, and that this is the album that you lent your voice to, or the messages that you chose to, because I think it just makes the fact that it did get those 12 nominations even more beautiful.
Right.
That it was such an honest,
authentic
genuine project.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for always providing perspective too, especially for those who don't listen to us, you know, or don't care to just take a deep dive into our perspective and what we're looking or hearing or what we're seeing. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm very appreciative for your voice, but most definitely your pen.
I appreciate
Thank you
that.
so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for talking
Thank
to us
you,
tonight,
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Thank you,
You
guys.
are amazing.
Thank you
You
guys
guys
for
are amazing.
listening.
Don't ever
in.
let me hear you get really like that whole.
No.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that they would want to
I'm
sing
so happy
with
that you
me.
want to sing with me.
Girl, don't do
I
that.
can't believe it.
Don't do
Okay,
that.
No more. If I
I'm
hear you, I'm a
Okay,
DM
you'll
you.
get me.
I'll be
Okay,
like,
you'll get
Jasmine,
me.
I'm getting
Jasmine,
on
I
the stage
told you to
myself.
stop.
Right. Stop it right now.
I
But thank
appreciate
you.
y'all for
Thank you
that.
so much for
Seriously.
sitting with us. Appreciate you.
All right,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all for sitting with us. Love y'all.
Thank you.